quick little mic check here. I think we're good. Coming in loud and clear on my end. You'll have to yell at me like you always do in the chat if it's too quiet. How's it going, everybody? On this fine, partly sunny Thursday. Ladies and germs, once again we are here talking about the charts, talking about the coins. Let me fix my windows here, badoop, and that's it. Omen, Mikael, Justin, Joey, of course, the Yeoman, Karen, Jabroni, DZ had some questions about BNB already. We'll take a look at that. Questions about BTC. We'll take a look at that. If you want me to look at anything, let me know in the chat. And we got pretty bearish pretty quick. I think, the quick TLDR of this entire stream is going to be, I don't love anything here. There are reasons to like some stuff, nibbling on some stuff, but I would be very, very patient on anything here because we are still super, super volatile across the board on pretty much everything. Any little data print can send us in a tailspin. And on these down moves, it might look like the move is over, right? Everything's safe. But that's, to me, as a trend trader, that's not what I'm seeing at all, anywhere. So I would just be very careful. If you're not a trend trader, if you do well, ultra low time frame, catching bottoms or whatever, then, maybe you like this type of market. But to me, the biggest moves are trend trading. So that's why I like looking for those trends. Why are the yearly pivots so different on Kraken, I wonder? Huh. That's no good. Should be lower, right? Or is that right? No, that is right. That's right. Just kidding. See, Juan, I get that question every week. Just like Ben Cowan hears it. And alts have done terribly in the grand scheme of things against Bitcoin over the past 6 months. The tough part with alts that people don't understand is like, yes, your 3 alts, your 3 lottery tickets probably did okay. And that's all people want to hear. So, that's just not me. I don't go on Dex Screener and search for low cap gems in a Telegram group and stuff like that. I would never be successful at that. I just wouldn't. So I just don't bother. But I know there are people that do that well. Most alts have done terribly. So I don't think alts have bottomed. I don't think, we can look at dominance as well. Take a look at Dixie, SHIB, AVAX. The other problem with these alts against Bitcoin, every single day they are issuing, however you want to think about it, inflation. It's higher than BTC every day. Every day from here to eternity is more and more unlocks, more and more coins that somebody has to buy. And if no buyers are found, price goes down against Bitcoin. That's just math, Yeah, not ETH, I mean Ash. We'll take a look at the ETH. What is it? Ultrasound. I have it up on the other screen. Let me take a look. But first for Bitcoin, the quick 3-minute TA on this is we are through the daily cloud. The best entries are forever going to be the bullish Kumo breakout. You had one on October. You had one similarly in February. That's what you're waiting for next. That's going to be hopefully not in the 60s, because that's where I let some coins go. Hopefully it's in the 50s. You know, what you'll see, just like you saw down here, if price stays relatively flat in a range, cloud will twist from bullish to bearish. So if you're of the camp that you think, you know, if you think this, let me just use the channel tool. If you think this is the channel, you're looking for the same thing in like June, July, which would be the cloud flipping bullish to bearish and then getting a bullish breakout basically above 62.6 is probably what it's going to work out to be in June. I'm personally not of that camp. I think we go a little lower. I think we go 50 to 55. So let's just make that the range. June, July breakout, maybe 60K. So that's one thing to watch for, right? One thing to watch for is something like this. Is if we can just hold this range, it's literally the same thing. It's always the same thing. It's never not the same thing. No matter what the chart is, it's always the same thing. Okay, this is exactly it. That's why I love the cloud. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to think, hey, is it, you know, is there a moon phase coming up? Blah blah blah. So that's what you're looking for on trend. Something I also like about the 50s and 60s, or sorry, 50 to 55. You've got yearly pivot. You've got 140 moving average. That's the 20-week moving average on the daily. And the 200-day moving average is at 50.49.5. Is VPVR on Kraken? It is. VPVR, let's dial this back a little bit. Row size 50. Area 150. No, I don't know if this actually does anything. 125? 75? 75. Let's try that. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. I think you get the point. But since September, August, as a reminder, VPVR, volume profile of the visible range. So if you look at the range from October 2020, man, what a time that was. Basically, since 2 halvings ago to now, your volume profile is going to look a little different. There's also a support there at 47.5, ultra long-term support. But if we go just the past 6 months, looking at volume, this is volume at price versus per day. We zoom in a little bit. We get, realistically, again, that little node at 50, where we spent a little time there, 50 to 52. And then if that fails, we're talking 43. I'm not in the 43 camp personally. I know there's a lot of people that are. But that's, there's not a ton of support at 50, but 50 is a psychological support, so I'm kind of banking on that. The other part about VPVR is now we've got all of this as resistance that we're going to have to work our way through the next time we're back up in the 60s. And if anything, we established this range because of the previous all-time high, right? Where we just had a bunch of people who didn't sell 3-4 times and saw it again years later and are like, oh man, this is my chance, right? Anyway, so that's VPVR, yearly pivots, moving averages. Another thing somebody brought up in the chat, you've got this like down channel. If we turn off a few things, turn off Williams fractals as well. We've kind of got this, I don't know what to call it. There's probably a pitchfork here eventually. anyways, it's something. Something's going on. I almost think it's a falling wedge of some kind. Like you can kind of draw this kind of like this. We've seen these many times throughout history. You get this arcing like parabolic puke, and then we just like do something like that. Like that's kind of where I'm at in my head, where I think is going to happen with this. So trend is neutral. Low time frames are bouncing, great, cool, but I don't think we have anything super turbo bullish just yet on the BTC chart. And really that's mainly because legacy, I guess we'll stick to crypto, so the timestamps are okay, but mainly because legacy looks angry to me still. Something else to watch for on the daily would be a daily RSI bull divergence. So depending on what you love, what you don't love, what you hate, use XYZ reason on some sort of logical checklist for why we might find a bottom. That's it. I've got this list of stuff that I made. You can add ETF flows to this. We can pull those up. Those have been negative. Yesterday we saw the most negative day, or the most negative flow we've ever seen was yesterday. And we're still where we are. So maybe that's a silver lining. But none of this, it's like, I want to be bullish every day of my life. I want to wake up, I want to say, I'm richer today, I'm richer tomorrow, whatever. But that's just not where we're at, I mean, this is not conducive for a bull trend. You can't have $500 million out of ETFs. Goku says he thinks the flows are irrelevant. All right, I mean, look, I don't pay attention to these every day for no reason. I pay attention to them because they've played a very big factor on price. March 12th was our largest net inflow day. Let's look at March 12th. Where's March 12th? Wouldn't you know it, Goku? Wouldn't you know it? It was the exact all-time high. The exact all-time high was March 12th. Amazing, isn't it? Look, they're important. You can't ignore them. They're definitely important. If anything, it's a sentiment gauge on what's going on. Most of the money going forward is not going to be retail, in my opinion. It's going to be institutions. It's going to be sovereign wealth funds and Saudis and family offices and wealth managers. It's going to be harder to push price up without buy-in from the biggest pools of capital. That's it. So we need, we're only as strong as demand. The supply reduction helps, but there's still 19 million coins or whatever floating around. So that's kind of my read on BTC. Until we're out of the cloud, as a trend trader, I just don't care. We can literally range from 55 to almost 65 and still be neutral here. The one thing I'd look for is similar to March to May 2023, I guess. And this time, I'd been talking about this. You can go back on the YouTube videos and give it a listen. But I was talking about this head and shoulders. The left shoulder was tiny. The right shoulder had multiple shoulders. Like, it wasn't perfect. It doesn't really matter. That's not really the point. But you had this. You had the very messy falling wedge in and out of the cloud, right? Like, it was all over the place. But what you did have over multiple months was a chart pattern, you could actually like see and hold on with both of your hands and say, yes, I think that's real. You know, this was in the midst of BlackRock announcing their ETF application. That's why we popped up, is what people would argue. As a technical trader, I would argue we popped up because of the pattern. So what do we have here? We still are dealing with the old pattern that people were yelling at me about, that I said this is some type of head and shoulders, whatever. We've hit the first target, depending on how you want to measure this, but if you measure this from the low to the high, is that even right? It's hard because there's no like clear neckline. So if this is my other neckline, then we get basically the target that I think where we're going is down here. So I know I'm wrong if we close above 65, I'm wrong. The distribution crowd is wrong, and this probably bullishly consolidates. Okay, but that is a long ways away from here. Not impossible. Nothing's impossible, but down is definitely where I think we go over the next couple weeks. If I had to guess, you know, I think it's going to be something like this, whatever, just kind of a slow bleed, puke, right? We can just kind of like puke into 50, and then everyone's going to say, of course it held at 50, it's a psychological support or whatever, you know, whatever they say. But again, we have this like head and shoulders into falling wedge potential, just something to watch, you know. And then where would this measure? This would measure to 90 to 100, you know. And this is like, if we're prognosticating to max prognostication, I've rubbed the crystal ball, max potential. What else would we see in this period? We would see flows come back positively. We would see liquidity come back positively. We would see legacy do well. I just think it's gonna take time. That's it. You know, we're gonna be talking about this chart next week. I don't think there's gonna be much different next week. That's kind of it, right? I don't really think there's much else going on the Bitcoin side. I mean, we can get into on-chain stuff. MVRV, Puel. One other thing I was going to do, you can obviously like track this weekly. Like for Setup Sunday, what I'll do is I'll say like, what does it look like on 5/4? And then what does it look like next week, right? What's after 5, what, 6/1? 5/31? No. 6/2? Where's Sunday? 5/11. JK. Right. You can do one of these, and you can say, if you want to be exact about it, or if you want to have some sort of system, we can do this. We can say, you know, like, next week, how does this look? My guess is not many of these columns are going to be checked. Okay, we have checked this one. We did go to 59.8. We did go to the bottom of the cloud. What else we got? No. Right? And none of this has been hit. So my assumption is into May, after these have been checked, after the downward conditions have been satisfied, then we'll probably do better, right? And depending on the percentage, you know, you could do some sort of like, does this work? We'll see if this works. Do equals sum. No, it doesn't work. But you could say, you know, this week was 2, then 5, then 10, then 11, right? And then maybe you start adding to your stack, you know, just as an example. Make your own list, put your own things here. But this is just one way to do it, to kind of force yourself to take it slow and give it some time. Because if I'm right, which I think I am, I think we're going to be here a while. We're going to be here a while. All right. Chat's arguing. Chat is upset about something. So Omen in the open, he asked about the channel. You know, this is basically the channel idea. The channel idea to me is the falling wedge idea. Is that eventually this thing is just gonna, you know, something's gonna happen here where we are sort of just puking. That's my guess. All right, let me, someone asked about BNB BTC, ETH BTC, IHS. Yeah, we'll talk about ETH BTC. Ondo. I think there's 2 people that asked me about Ondo. AVAX, DXY. Why don't I do this 2 separate columns? That way I save myself. That's the other thing. Like, my guess is towards 50. Everything that's currently the opposite of us is probably going to be bullish or bearish. So DXY bearish, flows bullish. What else did I say? Legacy bullish, liquidity bullish. Like that's my guess. My guess is down here. That's where that happens. SHIB. So Dom, the levels on this Kraken chart, S1, S2, if that's, I think this is what you're asking. These are yearly pivots. Pivot points are just math based on the highs and lows of the previous year. They go from 0 to infinity, again based on math. You can find it in TradingView or Kraken just by searching pivot points. And then I just use the yearly time frame, so it uses the previous year's high and low. Influencers saying we need to buy because there's deep discounts. Careful, gents. Yeah, that's not going to be me, Eduardo. I'm not going to be telling people to buy here. I've heard people saying like alts are a buy, but I don't see it personally. Not yet. We're getting closer. We're for sure getting closer. Somebody asked about total 2, I think, and total 3. We'll take a look at that. Dominance. Nah, but then you miss out on the ICP community member riding at 1K to $10. Exactly. SQQQ. Yeah, we can take a look at that. Yeah, ARB. There are a lot of coins. Okay, like do yourself a favor. I'm not gonna scare you out of a position, but you can go to DeFi Llama as an example, and you can see there's unlocks here somewhere, right? Yeah, there it is. They have an unlocks page. You can type in anything. It'll find whatever's related to that. So this is what you're fighting constantly, is the unlocks. Aptos. You know, are the unlocks big or small or large? I don't know, but just something to keep in mind. Truflation has a token. If there's one thing you want to do to ruin a project, it's add a token. So I do not like the idea of a token for anything, including Truflation. Love the product. It's like Link, right? I love the Oracle idea. The token makes no sense to me. What exactly is a bullish Kumo twist? So on the cloud, if we get rid of this, Kumo in Japanese, I believe, is cloud. So a bullish twist would be, where is the, there it is. This is a bullish twist down here. You'll notice that most breakout trades are in alignment with the cloud. So if you'll remember down here at January, February, we had an inverted head and shoulders. We had bull signals on like the 12-hour. We can go to that as well. This is always the best type of entry, right? Again, you can see it on any time frame, but this is what you want, okay? Not anything we have here. That's why it's so important to pay attention to these signals as they're happening. And not just assume like, oh, the trend is so bullish. No, not here, it's not. So what are you waiting for here? You're waiting for this exact picture in like, I don't know, 2 weeks from now, 4 months from now. I don't know when, but that's what you're waiting for on trend. Because you can see what we get with the moves, right? We get these massive moves. That's where the money's at. Just trend following 101. So the Kumo twist is just the cloud flipping. Sorry, this was the bullish twist. The cloud flipping from bearish to bullish. The cloud is ahead of price. So you'll notice here, if we go back in time, the cloud, where's the replay? So the cloud, just as price is breaking out, the cloud is flipping bullish. That is ideally what we see next time. Same thing. Hey Josh, thanks for sharing knowledge with us. Okay, experienced backholder, you're welcome. I think flows are relevant. We went over that. Paper ETF hands. Yeah, some of it's paper hands. Some of it's, I mean, look, the ETFs launched. What day did they launch? I think the 8th, or the somewhere in here, right? So as of it's like, right, no, it was Thursday, the 11th, right? Let's say you bought on the first day of the ETFs. If you sold a couple days ago, you're up 36%. If you sell today, you're still up almost 30%. If you bought on open of the ETFs. If you bought in the 40s, you're still up 45%. So like yeah, people are taking profits. You know, do you blame them? I took profits. It makes sense, right? So flows in, flows out. I don't really care. It's just about the general trend of flows. To me, that's more important. So I think it's fine. Not everybody's going to hold forever, right? I hate to break it to you, but not everybody believes in our mission. A lot of people are just going to get in and out. Institutions bought the high. So if they waited, you know, if they waited until here to buy, if they waited until March, yeah, they did buy the high, the current high, for sure. Head and shoulders always fails. I mean, Goku. Goku's just my anti-hero right now. It always fails. I mean, bro, were you here in January? We might get another one. You know, to me, this is one that is successful. We broke the neckline. We might get another one. We might get another one here. You know, that may be what May looks like. May might be just forming a right shoulder. And this would be the neckline. That's possible. Should I add it to my calendar? I'll say we'll go May 28th, you know, it's like remind Goku. IHS is a thing. Josh draws the Saturday. Slow bleed, long wick. Do you know if there's a trading indicator that aggregates the size of the wicks in both directions separately to build an moving average momentum? I don't know. I'd have to look into that. I have no idea. I doubt it, but that could be made. Do I remember Whale Club? I do, MG. That's a throwback for sure. Is Brian still around? Brian's still around. He's just busy with IRL stuff. I don't really know. He's not really doing much crypto stuff these days. Man, Goku is just fighting everybody today. Just reading. Why does dominance go down when Bitcoin is below the 20-week? Do people ape into alts? I do not understand the obsession with dominance, personally. I've said this before, but the Bitcoin maxis will tell you dominance is 100%. And I'm more in that camp. The alt people will tell you dominance doesn't matter. So it's like, who is dominance really for? You know, I don't really know. I don't really know. But it's in an uptrend. That hasn't changed. I think the alt people are hoping that dominance is going to like top tick. That they're going to be able to top tick dominance and alts are suddenly going to magically outperform. I don't know. Again, that's not me. It's not for me. So I can't really help you there. But very clearly, this isn't an uptrend. The other thing I think people misunderstand is like, oh, this is going to tell me when to make the most money on alts. I also don't think that's necessarily the case. It'll help inform your decision process maybe, but look what kind of crap was pumped here. It was the SBF scam garbage, right? This whole thing. So I don't know. Like we can go back. What was here? The ICOs, garbage nonsense, right? None of this stuff, for the most part, unless it gets delisted, ever goes to zero. So when maxis say dominance is at 100%, I'd say, yeah, you're probably close to that. You know, dominance to me is probably close to like 85, 90%. Most of this other stuff just is irrelevant. It really is. But dominance very much in an uptrend. So you're a salmon swimming upstream on fighting dominance. It just doesn't make sense to be heavily in alts, even still. Where does this go? Maybe this goes to 60, but very much in an uptrend. Is Popcat the new whiff? I don't know. Gosp is in the chat. 33K by July on the table. Oh boy. DXY breaking into the cloud. Short-term relief. I'll take a look at that. Alt BTC pairs at 0.25. Yeah, that's the other thing. If we pull up, dominance is just the inverse version of the chart I'm about to show. But to me, this is how you'd want to be thinking about, where is it at? thinking about alts. This is the 3-day cloud. Again, it's pick whatever trend metric you want. I don't care. This is still floundering around at the lows. This is the alt BTC index, effectively stripping out stables. Tether, USDC. There's more, but not really super relevant to the equation. It's not bullish. It just isn't. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, the moment we are above this, I will tell you, I will be honest with you and say, look, alts likely overperform here. But look how long it took post-COVID is when alts did best. And why did they do best? Because liquidity was getting dumped into the ecosystem. That's it. And that's why I keep looking at this liquidity equation relative to total 2. Liquidity is only up a little bit over the past couple of years. And alts are up a lot still. So to me, this is going to have to merge. Either liquidity comes up or alt valuations come down. That's that. I mean, look at how tight this was. 2021 to 2024, it was almost 1-to-1. Post Bitcoin ETFs, everything went up, wealth effect, and now something's going to have to come back to earth. Either liquidity is going to have to just get dumped into the ecosystem again, or alts are in for a world of hurt still. Is there any good high leveraged intraday trades on something like the 1 hour, 4 hour? Scared Gohan. Why are you trading in the 1 hour, bro? Here's a leverage trade I'd like, okay? If we pull up, we'll look at other stuff, but here's how I would do this. This is 4 hour BitX. This is the 2x ETF. Again, the beauty of the cloud, you're always looking for the exact same thing on any time frame. Period, end of story. You learn the cloud once, it never changes, okay? So again, what am I looking for here on the 4 hour? I'm looking for a price above the cloud. And I would argue that on this chart, let me just delete, I had an alert here. I would argue on this chart, close that for now. The falling wedge looks even better on this chart, you know? So it's possible to just play this falling wedge. Trying to draw this in a way that makes sense, sorry. It's possible to just play this falling wedge as like a parabolic move. Oh my god. TradingView today. Okay. As a parabolic move when this breaks eventually. You know. So if you want to watch anything on the 4 hour, I'd watch stuff like this. We can go to ETH. Same thing, like what is the 4 hour trend telling you? It's telling me that this looks like hot garbage. hot garbage. Hot garbage in the Alabama summer. But we can go to anything and, you know, do the same. Sol, like you can just go down the list quickly. Sol, BNB, no. Link, no. AVAX, no. Doge, no. Matic, no. LTC, no. Dot, nope. Wait, Dot. Dot's starting to get above the 4 hour. Fire it off. Who asked me about trades? Scared Gohan. Fire off the 4-hour dot trade. Near, no. FET, Ocean, AGIX, ADA, ETC, INJ. None of these are above the 4-hour. None of them. Oh, what was that? OP? Okay, you got that one. Ripple, no. Filecoin, Algo, Flow, ENS, no. Like, there's just nothing. Slim pickings. Dot, I have no idea why that's doing well. And some layer 2 ETH stuff doing well, I guess. But most everything else, complete junk. Complete junk. Kumo twist on the 30-minute. When you look at the daily versus weekly cloud, daily looks bad, weekly looks fine. Sorry. So for multi-time frame stuff, weekly BTC. Or my cuckoo. I love that. Weekly BTC is still fine. As in, we're above the cloud. That's the most important thing. Bullish TK cross. None of this is bearish. The only reason this got bearish is because we were overbought. And you can see us sort of coming back to earth, whether or not we find the Tenkin or Kijun as support, whatever. But what we don't want to see is a bearish TK cross on the weekly. We never saw that in 2017. Did not see that in 2021. Now, I'm not saying if we see that it's over, but if we see that, that probably means it's getting pretty ugly. The difference here is on something like ETH. ETH has a risk of closing into the cloud with a bearish TK cross on the weekly. All the more reason to me that just says ETH is not the move. Okay, until this trend cleans itself up, this just does not look good. And it could get real bad. Real bad meaning bottom of the weekly cloud. We're talking, here, whatever this is, 2000. I don't think we see a 50% drawdown in ETH, but to think that we can't come back to the ascending triangle level, I think is dangerous. Like, I think we can. And that's 2000. All the more reason I don't like ETH BTC here. So the weekly versus daily argument, that's really why I was watching this like a hawk on the BTC side on the weekly edge to edge, because once this starts, like, usually we get there, right? But now we're so far above the weekly cloud, we have a lot to give back and still be bullish. ETH, not so much. Solana, not so much. You can go down the list here. BNB has a bunch to give back. BNB still looks okay to me. Doge never got out of the cloud. DOT never got out. LTC, some of these just never got in the cloud on the weekly, right? So that's the difference between the weekly and the daily. The daily is obviously the faster signal, but if some of this stuff starts closing in the weekly cloud, yikes. And I already know I hear calls for people to start buying ETH again. I mean, Solana, okay. If let's just call it that. If this plays out as a cup and handle, we're going back to 100. That's it. Okay, you can agree, you can disagree with me all you want, but that's where we're headed. Doesn't look great right now. Alternatively, this could, right, double you out. We get a bullish Kumo breakout. Everybody gets girlfriends. I don't think we're there yet. Okay, This leans heavily bearish to me. So scared Gohan, yeah, we could see everything basically returning to its previous breakout point. And what I said in the video on yesterday, before this breakout, we had the exact opposite, right? We had bullish patterns on top of bullish patterns. You had the head and shoulders here, you had a cup and handle here. Everything was breaking up. You were making higher highs. You were above the cloud. You had a bullish TK cross on the daily. All this stuff was screaming higher. You've got none of that here. Nothing. You've got the opposite. Okay. This looks terrible. I said it looked terrible at 170 because of the inverted Adam and Eve. It's this up here, okay? We saw it on NVIDIA. We saw it on SNCI. Not good. That's not good. That's not bullish, okay? So, yeah, we don't have any bullish arguments technically in the technicals at the moment. Could we add USDTD to the list? We can. What's the argument here? It's that so this is tether dominance. And what's the argument? That we tend to bottom, you know, something like this. I don't know. I'm not the greatest trying to understand these dominance charts, stablecoin dominance. I don't know. It's tough because they're constantly issuing coins. I guess the idea is that, you know, if there isn't enough stablecoin to buy this stuff, we have a harder time going up. So you're better off waiting for you're better off waiting for stablecoin dominance to get back up here again. I guess that's the argument. It's back into like 7-8%. So this says I'd still have a little while to go on stablecoin dominance. What is the next hyped up blockchain after Solana? I don't know, bro. I just trade Bitcoin. Bull market top is in. I don't think so. No name. I think we just need a breather. People asking about the cloud settings. So crypto is 20, 60, 120, 30. Legacy, TradFi, whatever you want to call it, S&P, that is, what is it, 1852, 104, 26. And the reason these are different, Legacy is not 24/7, crypto is. That's the biggest justification. But if you backtest it, for me, the crypto settings make sense for crypto. The legacy settings make sense for legacy. That's it. All this is really doing is doubling the default. Default being 9, 26, 52, 26. By doubling your settings, you're slowing everything down. Ideally, you're getting fewer signals, higher quality signals. And if for whatever reason you're trading Doge or something that moves fast, all I will do is go down to the 12-hour. You know, let's say, I hear this a lot from people. They're like, oh, the cloud is too slow. Okay, you know, just bump it down a time frame. Bink. Did I just create a meme? Bink. Here's Bonk. Okay, Bonk's a bad example. What's another one? Pepe? I don't know. Something that meme coins move fast, die young, right? That pays probably the best looking chart right now. Okay. Why? It's above the cloud, bullish TK cross. It's got that inverted head and shoulders. Does it make sense? No, it does not make any sense why this would do well right now. But this is a longable chart if I've ever seen one. Looks very good. Looks very, very good. Anyway. Where do you recommend learning macro side? I don't know. Podcasts. I listen to so many podcasts on macro, it's disturbing. Dominance is for me, and everybody else can go F themselves. Okay. Gosp taking no prisoners today. Somebody said they need the Pico top sell at 101. This is the wrong channel for that. With Ethereum ETF approval past halving, is there anything else we can expect from Curtis with diminishing returns? I don't think we're going to see the ETF approval for ETH this year. If we do, it'll be a surprise. I mean, we can look at this is what the market thinks of an ETH ETF. Okay. Let me just move this onto a different chart. This is what the market thinks. This is the live betting line on ETH ETF approval. From June to January, the market was hopped up on approvals thanks to the Bitcoin approvals. But since then, market does not think so. Now, if this starts dropping, this is the ETH discount. If the ETH discount goes from negative, or goes from 25% to 0, then the market's pretty sure that there's going to be an ETF. But by the looks of it, market thinks no ETF. I've been in heavy cash, missed the rally. If you were in position, when would you start buying alts? Again with the alts, everybody wants to buy the alts. I would buy, I mean, just look at Doge BTC, right? You want anything that's been here long enough to understand. We'll do this. We'll do this. Halving was the 19th. Turn on the weekly. Okay, here you go. Here's your roadmap. Here's your alts roadmap. Okay. Those vertical bars represent halving. Doge started to break out last halving. 250 days after halving. Okay. What about this one? Same thing. Hey, what do you know? Okay. All right. Let's see what's 250 days from here. Let's see. I bet it's not when you want it to be. It's basically December. It's like here. Okay. So we'll do this. We'll do boom. We'll do boom. Now you, of course, realistically, you don't want to buy the moment it starts breaking out. You want to sort of be in the market. You want to be in the market here, here. You want to be in the market here. Right? That's like the best EV. So that goes back to this idea is, what is 30 weeks? That's 240, right? No, 210. This is 714, yeah. 210 days is 30 weeks. It's slightly after halving, so it's roughly in alignment. So here's the idea with the DCA of the memes, okay? You are buying this garbage as it is declining. As it is selling off, this is you, okay? Ideally, you're buying into the weakness. We're using some sort of seasonality chicken bone voodoo to say alts are going to do best in this time period. We want to be allocated. We want to be ready. We're patient, etc. That is why you wait. Now you could wait till 200 days in. I don't care. Do whatever you think is right for you, but as an idea, this is a roadmap. That's as far as I take it. So you can look at dominance, you can look at whatever you want, but this is one way to think about it. Where does Doge go in December 2025? I don't know. 2024? I have no idea. But if we guess, this is the other reason. It's like, oh, do we see a 4,000% move on Doge BTC? I doubt it. But, I get it. People want alts because they want a lottery ticket. They think it's going to outperform. Whatever. Thank you, Joey. He says he's a BTC maxi. I think dominance is trash. You can create 1 trillion altcoins, sell one to your mother for $1, and boom, you've got $1 trillion market cap. Exactly. Same thing with ETH BTC. When did ETH BTC do best? 230 days. Again, it's about 250 days after halving is when things start to look better. When did this bottom? This bottom, that's 280 days. That's 160 days. Split the difference. It's probably like 220 or something. That would be, again, Q4, December. So I just think there's a lot of time before this stuff starts to turn around. And you can see on trend, it's pretty clear. Not bullish. Let's go down to the 2-day cloud. Not bullish. Hasn't been bullish since October. And the funny thing about that is it actually had a pretty decent case for an inverted head and shoulders. Here, where's Goku? Tell Goku that this one didn't work out, so that they all will probably fail. Just trying to fix there we go. So if we call this an inverted head and shoulders, a failed reversal pattern typically plays out in the opposite direction. So, again, I think this is all going lower. I think all BTC pairs are going lower. That's that. If I had to blindly put bids on ETH BTC, it would be 0.42 to like here to there. I think that's where we are headed, and we've got time to get there. That's where I think we're headed. Nobody wants to hear that, though. It's not like BTC maxis watch my videos, right? Most of my audience is altcoin people. There are a few maxis, but have I trimmed my XLE? No, I haven't. We can talk about that. Lost chat again. Where we go? Speaking of BitX, the correlation between coin and BitX is uncanny. Just a tiny bit lower beta. Yeah, I'll wait till the legacy section to discuss that, but MSTR is the same. It's all based off of Bitcoin, right? Can I look at DXY? Yes, I will look at DXY. I was up trading until hit 119. I want to learn to make sure I get the most value for that kind of breakout. Sol at 119. So one thing you can do, if we talk about like risk management, I haven't talked about these in a while just because we haven't really had a trend in a while, but if you look at the Williams fractals, you just type in WF and they'll pop up as the first thing. If you get a low, high, low, you get a fractal here. If you get a high, low, high, you get a fractal here. If you're in an uptrend, you will get these fractals. And ideally you are making higher lows, okay? So you said 119. Basically, sounds like you were trading the cup and handle idea, maybe, whatever. So if that's your breakout, you had a fractal here, you had a fractal here, you had a fractal here, okay? So to get max value, I would go to like, honestly, probably the 12-hour on alts. You have to backtest it a little bit to see how it worked out, but if that's your breakout trade, your trailing stop loss is not initially the level of the wick. It is after the candle closes, okay? You can see there's a little more. There's a little more fractals in here on lower time frames. So you get a fractal there, 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 and then finally at the top. So this gets you out, I guess it gets you out, it gets you out there, okay, 175 from 116. That is a 50% move, okay. So all you're doing is just following the trailing stop loss, and you need a candle close below the fractal. So if we're like 11 hours in and you were watching this candle right here and we were 11 hours in, yeah, I would probably close that. Okay. But if we were 2 hours in, I'd probably give it some time. The other thing you can do, if you know chart patterns, you could have said this is the expected move somewhere between here. Okay, that's our conservative target. If we take the ultimate if we measure it from the ultimate high and low, you get a slightly different value, obviously. Okay, but again, it's telling you anything close to 170 from 116, 119, pretty great exit. Okay, it's also telling you 202 is probably going to be the maximum. These don't always work out exactly correctly, but most of the time they're pretty good. So what you can do, the moment this breaks out, other than watch the trailing stop losses, you just put asks up there. Again, you put like, I don't know, put 10% up here at 200 or 202 or 203, whatever. And then maybe put 10% here. That way you're getting out over time. Maybe you'd put 10% here at 160, right? This depends on size and leverage and all this other stuff, but that's how I would do that. With the pattern, with the trailing stop losses. Your liquidity equation is probably missing something. Yeah, so my liquidity equation is only using the US. US liquidity. If we put in your liquidity equation, what is it? I'd have to fix it. It might take me a minute. You are correct. That is global liquidity, for sure, which is what this looks like. If I get rid of this, does it work? No. I'll save this. I'll fool around with it off stream. But you're right. That's global liquidity. Blur, we can take a look at. Most alts, again, like most alt people, alt traders are trading much lower time frames than I care about most of the time, but we can talk about it. I use MEXC for leverage in the US. They're better options. I like GMX, but again, it's up to you. How does Filecoin look on the cloud? We'll take a look. Movie checks. 3 domed houses. Yes. 3 peaks in a domed house pattern played out last month. Yeah. Sand on the daily, sure. Noob question. Do you do stop orders of the crypto or do you set alerts? Huck, I do a mixture of alerts and stop orders, depending on if I'm AFK or not. That's all, really. In your mind, USDTD is high, crypto is risk off. Right, exactly. So if tether dominance is high, that's probably a risk off situation. How did you time the BTC top this year with macro fundamentals? I'm just looking at the cloud. I talk about a lot of stuff. I wouldn't say it influences my trading directly, but it plays a big part for sure. The ultimate thing that gets me to press that button is the cloud. Okay, that's why I think it's the single most important thing anybody can care about. Watching flows, watching the ETF hype in October with price made sense. Watching GBTC flows come out and then price recovering when flows recovered made sense. And then watching flows slow down, Goku up here with price falling makes sense, right? All that makes sense. The cloud's just helping you with the trend part of it. Now we talked about a lot of different trades in this whole range, right? There was this, depending on your time horizon or whatever, there was lots of stuff to do in here potentially. But when we start breaking below the daily cloud, then that's when I'm like out of my spot positions in a big way. That's just a huge risk off warning sign. And the reason that was different than here, we talked about this last week, I think. The flows were just getting started and we're coming online and we had a chart pattern. We have nothing here. We have negative flows. We don't have a chart pattern. Liquidity is garbage. Like, it's all the stuff I've been talking about for weeks. So all that informs the trading for sure. Thoughts on Peter Brandt's last chart? Yeah, so 2 charts ago he said he's seen a lot of market tops in his day and he thinks this is a top. And then the next chart he was like, if this recovers here. So I don't know what he drew, something like this and said something about a market top, and then he's got some like bump and run thing. I don't know. I have no idea. Any chance you could check PDD? Sure. There's too much chat today. I can't even catch up. Dude, people killed it on selective alts last 4 months. Yeah, again, congrats to everybody who did, but this is a risk-reward argument that the alt people will never understand. It just doesn't matter to me. Sorry, it just doesn't. Like, yes, if I knew which alt would be the explosive alt of the next 6 months, I'd be all in, man. But I don't, and I don't think anybody does. And I think anybody telling you they do is a scammer. And that's just it. Pendle. So yeah, look, if you want to spray and pray your portfolio and eat the drawdowns and whatever else, I'm not going to stop you. I could care less, but it's not for me. Wojak, sure. Sol is a 2-digit crap coin. Yes, I agree, but it's not at 2 digits. My mom thinks you are smart and handsome. My wife thinks you're smart. Okay. Is E and A instead of A and E a real thing? Yeah, for sure. I just want to think of what I want to transition to next on the timestamps. We'll go alts because everyone's asking. We'll do legacy last. So Filecoin. People keep asking about Filecoin. A and E. First of all, there was a lot of this on a lot of charts. Again, Goku, is he still here? Hey, Goku, buddy. This one's for you, buddy. There was a lot of this on a lot of charts, aka Head and Shoulders. I tweeted out the Doge Head and Shoulder thing a couple days ago. They don't always have to look perfect. Sometimes they have a diagonal neckline, whatever. But even if it didn't play out, I can't see this and think to myself, oh man, this is so bullish. I can't wait to go long. It needs to clear itself. It either needs to make a higher high before the breakdown, or it needs to go to the measured move level, which arguably at this point it has. Okay. Yeah, can somebody ping Goku? Give him a call. And I'm always doing the same thing. I'm taking the fibs and measuring the logical low to the high. Okay, we roughly got there, right? So I'd say this pattern is the destiny is fulfilled, right? So now you're asking, is this an Adam and Eve, or is, I guess it depends on the time frame. I'm assuming you're asking me about this, right? The weird thing on ultra low time frames, a lot of these coins had this. They had the Adam and Eve and then just didn't go anywhere. And so now it's like, okay, what is this, right? Is this going to be another something? I don't know. I just don't think, in most cases right now on alts, unless there's some high time frame bullish argument, alts are a tough trade right now. Down is the way for alts right now. The one exception, well, I'd make two exceptions. Pepe would be one. Didn't I make this? Here we go. Of course I messed it up. Pepe would be one. BNB would be the other. Bonk would probably be another one. Again, this chart does not look horrible. Right? What is the difference? The difference is trend looks good, sadly. And it's got a pattern. That's it. It's at the top of the range versus the bottom of a multi-year death spiral, right? Like that's the difference. BNB, we'll talk about. I'll just go down my own list here. Sol, I think we talked about. I don't see anything there that's bullish. BNB on the 12-hour, just kind of ranging, daily kind of ranging. If BNB can close above 620, I like it. So I've got an alert at that level. I don't know what this is here. Somebody might have said ascending triangle, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what that is. On BNB BTC, you did have the ascending triangle. That this trade to me, based on the pattern, is probably done. The trend still looks okay. But I think BNB tends to do best when BTC is pulling back, right? You know, we can look at this BTC. It's just add it to the chart. Maybe. Just trying to see if BNB, does BNB pop up when BTC's kind of flat? So BNB did really well in 2018 into 2019. It did really well here, kind of after BTC topped. Very inverse there. And again, it looks pretty inverse potentially here. So yeah, it doesn't look correlated with Bitcoin, that's for sure. It looks inverse correlated with Bitcoin. I don't know. So I guess if you're bearish BTC, that's a potential trade. To think about. ETH-BTC we talked about. I just, this it's nothing for me here. We can talk about expectations for anything and ecosystem, and I just don't care. There's just nothing there right now. Total 2. Total 2 basically looks like every single alt. It's breaking below the cloud. It's got this inverted cup and handle thing. I really hope people caught the past 6 months and did amazingly well. My fear is that there are people now who missed the past 6 months and are thinking, oh man, we had a little pullback, it's time to get in. I'm not quite on that bandwagon. I don't think total 2 goes back to the breakout level, which would be like here. I don't think we go all the way back there, but this is in the weekly cloud. It doesn't look pretty. Total 3, basically the same thing. Weekly trend is a mess. Daily trend is a mess. Here was your bullish TK crisscross. Here was your initial breakout. And this is none of that. This is just ranging. All right, back to the list. Link. Again, most of this stuff you don't need me to tell you what I think, because it's just going to be whatever the cloud says. It's bearish, okay? I mean, you can go back to the 4-hour, look at all these on the 4-hour cloud. The very least, wait until we're back above the 4-hour cloud, or we have some sort of pattern or something. But none of this stuff looks good. This could be a giant thing, a giant head and shoulders. Goku, get him! Somebody tap Goku. This could be a giant head and shoulders that breaks down. Not bullish. AVAX, same thing, below the cloud. Again, you don't want to see this if you're bullish. That is a May-June phenomenon, not a right now phenomenon, but there's just nothing here. Nothing here. Doge, we talked about, bearish. Again, this goes back to like this meme coin portfolio argument. Over the next 30 weeks into May, starting in May, I think that makes the most sense to me, just because I think this is going to take time. Matic below the cloud on the daily, LTC below the daily cloud. Also just angry in general. DOT has had quite a bullish couple days, but that doesn't change trend. You know, again, this, if one of these has this macro head and shoulders, they all will. Not saying that's here today, but that would be like a May-June breakdown potentially. I think Ben is also talking about this, like just sort of bleeding into summer back to the initial breakout. That's not off the table. This is not bullish. And you can go back to DOT in 2021. What did it do? It stayed above the cloud. Bullish, not bullish, bullish, not bullish, not bullish, not bullish. So that's why I like the cloud. Oh, near, that was the other one. Near to me also looks like it has a chance. Somehow Pepe is leading. But somebody get Goku for me again. Something like this, however long it takes, may play out. I don't think it's a long now, but it certainly looks more bullish than most everything else. FET, inverted cup and handle, below the cloud, just needs time. Ocean, angry, below the cloud. AGIX below the cloud. Cardano below the cloud. And you can see like the different variations. You know, to me, like LTC looks a lot like Ocean. ADA looks a lot like Link, AVAX, Matic, you know. They're all just the same. It's the same chart. There's not really much variation here. ETC, same thing. INJ, same as the others. None of this looks good. None of it. Rune below the cloud. IMX below the cloud. Uni very angry below the cloud. There's just nothing here. Sushi way below the cloud. SNX almost the new low. I just don't think there's a reason to jump into anything on the alt side here because all of it just looks junky to me. We talked about OP in the open. Hopefully this is a channel and not a rising wedge, but it looks okay. The other part of this whole conversation is all of these are basically correlated. So can one do well while everything else is doing nothing? It's possible, but I don't think that's probable. That's why, again, like if we go back to this, I think this, I gotta figure out, okay, that's correct. This was near, right? I think. Anyway, BNB near Pepe. Like what a murderer's row of value. And then Bonk was the last one. Still, like these are the best charts. These are the best charts. That's the state of this market. 2 meme coins. CZ is going to jail. His coin and and near. Now, to be clear, these aren't like screaming long, but they are the best looking charts. They're the best looking chart. Yeah. Goku's busy learning about Head and Shoulders. These are the best looking charts. Everything else just looks awful. Just looks real bad. Okay, what else do we have? Blur, somebody asked me about. I can only guess what this looks like. I mean, me personally, I like charts that go up. So this is not a chart that's gone up. All right, that's better. This is on Kraken. There's your breakout. There's your exit signal. And here you go. For the people that tell me the cloud is too slow, sometimes it's too slow. Sometimes it's real good. Okay. Here was a crisscross in-out signal. This gets you out at 68 cents. That is 41% down from the exit. Okay. My issue with Blur here is that this could be a bear flag or bear pennant or whatever. But a lot of these alts have the potential for some sort of W. That wick is so ugly. What's a good example of this we can talk about? Sol, maybe? So for me, on anything that looks like this W double bottom, I would wait till it's back above the horizontal resistance. What's another good one? Here's a good one. So I wouldn't feel confident in a breakout until AVAX, for example, is above 40. So as a breakout trade, you could say at any point down here, I am fairly confident this is going to break up. If this is you, right? This isn't me, but if this is you, you could say, I think this is going to play out as a double bottom, right? So what I'm going to start doing is start buying this here preemptively, nibbling as it were. You could probably nibble like 50% of the position size pre-breakout, and then on the breakout, you want to definitely add probably your stop loss would just is new lows, right? I know a lot of people who trade like this. This isn't for me, but your stop loss is 30, your breakout is 40, and your expected move is 50. Okay, that's pretty clean and simple. It's just confidence, you know. Not for me. I would just wait until we're closer to 40, but that's one way to play it. Filecoin, we looked at Mubi. What is this? Ranging, nothingness. Kind of reminds me of Ripple and LTC. Ripple and LTC had this diagonal support. LTC is still above its diagonal support, to be fair to LTC. Ripple, I don't believe, is above its diagonal support. And you can see this here. You know, it's not for me, but sure. There's no trend on any of this stuff. Where's Ripple? Here's Ripple. Ripple same thing, right? Like there's the diagonal support. It's kind of in the bounce or die spot, but there's no trend. It's not for me. Checks. Bitfinex. Bullish chart. What is this? Not a lot of volume, clearly. I mean, it depends where you bought, but it's done well. I mean, if I was in this thing from under a penny, I'm out. Okay, it's up 2,500%. 2,500%. So I forget who asked me about this, but I hope you did not buy up here. I hope. My fear is that you did. I don't know. But at this point, it's up over 2,000% in 6 months. I think you just gotta give it some time. I don't see this as bullish continuation here, personally. Sand. Or take half off, you know, take something off if you're down from the bottom. Sand, he said on the daily. Again, it's super noisy all over the place. That's why I prefer to look at this one on the weekly. To me, this makes a lot more sense. Even like the 3-day. Even on the 3-day, it's a little noisy, but I think you get the idea. Like, it was down only, and then it tried to do something and failed. That's okay. Like, I think like a lot of these charts, they just need time to range. This could take us into Q4. That's when I think, like, my guess is all this junk breaks out in Q4. That's my guess. PDD. Is that a chart? Oh, that's legacy. Okay. Pendle. Pendle's like anything that's, again, it's up. Is this like algo driven or some sort of buyback mechanism or something? It just looks like it because it's been up only, but it's up a lot in 3 months. So like, what do you want? You know, the cloud is telling you to get out. It's ready to close below the cloud. Just not the time for this. Does not look like continuation to me. Needs time. Wojak. If I'm trading any meme coins, it's got to be Pepe and Bonk here. It's not going to be this. This does not look like Pepe. Pepe is the gold standard. We're on the Pepe. Pepe's the new standard. It's got to look like Pepe, near BNB, something that's at the top of the range, something that's holding the range, something that's been ranging for a little while. This thing just kind of gave it all back. I would need this above the cloud on some time frame that makes sense. This does not look good. Not look good. How are we feeling about coin earnings? I've been long coin for a while. Earnings should be great, so we'll see. But I wouldn't like play the earnings or anything. New coin just dropped. Pink. I think I did Ondo. We can go check it again, but maybe I didn't. It looks okay. Trying to find a better chart. Is Coinbase the best chart for that? There's no trend. Like, the trend is over. Momentum is done. It doesn't look as bearish as everything else. doesn't look horrible. Like, it could, somebody get Goku again. It could be, I think Goku's unsubscribed. It could be some sort of like inverted head and shoulders. It could be a flag pennant thing. Like, it doesn't look horrible. I would want this. I'd like it better at 88 cents than 78 cents. I'll say it like that. All right, that's enough for alts. Let's take a look at legacy real quick. Somebody kept asking me about DXY. I don't think Goku's in the Discord. DXY's still bullish, like, let's be clear, but it's tough because you've got BOJ just intervening and dumping on the market, which is fine, but that's going to screw with the near-term signals here. It's in a multi-year range. It's at the top of a multi-year range. I still think it leans more bullish than bearish. It tried to break out of this falling wedge, kind of failed, but again, I think that's more of BOJ intervention than anything. Not that it matters, but I don't know. It still looks more bullish than bearish to me, which is a problem. So if we're bullish crypto, we want this to get crushed. We want this sub 103 ideally. But it still looks okay. Still looks okay. What else we got? Here's UJ, by the way. What a mess. What a mess. It looks like, you know, the Dogecoin chart or something. This is insane. Yeah, that's a currency of a country. Crazy, but that's UJ. Euro, not much has changed there. High yield, not much has changed there. Oil's gotten smacked down too. I wonder if that is maybe like recession fears or something. Interesting that it can't hold the weekly cloud without a bullish TK cross. I wonder if we get a bullish TK cross on this and then it goes to like 95. Yeah, exactly. That was a G7 country. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Oil just kind of ranging. It is just giving everything back, right? From the highs. XLE, I still like XLE. I haven't reduced any of the position or anything. I didn't mess with it at all. I think I might have added like yesterday. I don't know. It still looks okay to me. I'm just telling myself like it's going to take time to break out. You know, legacy moves super slow. It took 2-3 years to consolidate. Same thing with CopX. Like, I think this chart is still fine. I'm not really worried about it. Still looks bullish to me. Looks better than anything in crypto. That's for damn sure. So I think it's fine. TLT on the daily still looks pretty tragic. There was like a low. Here's a good question. What do you think is going to play out first? A TLT inverted head and shoulders Goku? Let's ask Goku. An inverted head and shoulders on TLT or the W double bottom on AVAX, you know? Which one of those is going to play out first? Anyway, I don't think there's a trade here on TLT, but it looks like it's trying to bottom. Just doesn't look good. KRE ranging mess. I still like MS, Morgan Stanley. Another chart that looks really good to me. just based on being at the highs, inverted head and shoulders. What else we got on the list? Indices, S&P. Daily cloud. You know, again, like the great thing about the cloud is that you kind of know what's going to happen a little bit in advance. And the expectations are kind of set. Like from November to April, we held above the Tenkan, smooth sailing. Everybody, including myself, is like, is this ever going to end? It's been up only forever. But the moment we start closing below the Tenkan, that's like a warning. Then we get the TK cross. That's another warning. Then we close in the cloud. That's another warning. So like realistically, this is the target right now, bottom of the cloud. Until this can close above 5,100, it definitely leans bearish. Definitely. I also saw people like, I think it was like here. There's some sort of like head and shoulders argument. Goku? maybe it was him. Maybe he's a secret head and shoulders maxi. I saw people drawing this, and I guess you could argue that it fits the bias of bearishness, so sure. Yeah, so this does not look bullish. Let's be clear, right? This doesn't need to break down. It just doesn't look bullish. That's it. QQQ has been in the cloud for like a week. Just does not look good. Again, it doesn't need to go to zero, but it's not bullish. At least back here, you had the inverted head and shoulders, Goku. Telling you. Somebody needs to let this man know. Somebody needs to let this man know. Here you don't have anything, you know? There's just nothing there. It certainly leans bearish. IWM also leans bearish. DJI, I haven't looked at that one in a while. DJI, same thing. Just doesn't look good. Does not look good. QQQ, same thing. Oh, we looked at that. XLE. So there's a question about coin and coin earnings. This is the pitchfork. You know, it looks okay. I don't know. Earnings should be bullish, I'd imagine. Whether or not the market actually trades it that way, I don't know. I guess it might be more about the guidance than the earnings. I don't know. I have no idea. But, you know, maybe you could say this is some sort of wedge. And if we take the high, we take the low. I don't think we see a 50% breakout tomorrow. I could see us to like 265 on earnings. I could see that. I don't know. You know, it's at the midline of the pitchfork. It's trying to get back above the cloud. I don't know. I don't really have much. On the bearish side, you could argue that this is some sort of head and shoulders. I don't know. Clearly had an inverted Adam and Eve. It was playing out there. Why coin not bullish above the cloud? It's bullish, but clearly the TK cross is trying to close bearish, right? Like as an entry, do I like it here as an entry? That's the other discussion. The entry was here and here. Is there an entry here? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, you could also say, let's just throw out the cloud. If we just throw out the cloud, call this like a channel. I still like buys. I like buys better down here. Down here in the channel, right? Because it's up quite a bit. It's up quite a bit from the inverted head and shoulders, depending on how you want to draw this. It's in the wheelhouse of expectations already. I'm not saying this is going to roll over. I just don't know how bullish it is like in the next week. If everything else looks kind of blah, I think it's a lot to just ask coin to overperform. But I like anything above 265 post earnings. Oh yeah, today. Today's Thursday. So we should know coin earnings in like 20 minutes, right? That's coin. MSTR. I made fun of Punter Jeff on one of my videos. I didn't use his name, but I made fun of him, and someone did not like that. Someone did not like that. Here's MSTR. MSTR kind of the same. Like, this is not going to be randomly bullish unless Bitcoin is bullish. Okay, nobody cares about their software business. This is not about their software business. So I like this best below the midpoint. Like, if this gets down to this pocket on the pitchfork, I will buy some, okay? Me personally, I will add MSTR. Up here, it's still not for me. Feather Coin Classic? I hope you're joking. I already talked about alts, Sir Python, so I'm not going to go into it again. I'm not going to argue with you about Total 2 or Total 3. All the alt charts look the same to me. Bad. So you can rewind. Unless you're watching the initial part of the video now. Apple earnings today too. Is Feathercoin even still listed? I don't think this is, yeah, there's not even a chart for this, is there? FTC. I think you're trolling me. I think you're just joking. All right, back to legacy. PDD. Yeah, you probably asked me about this a while ago, right? Doesn't look bad. You know, this, if you think about how coin looks relative to this is how coin might play out, where it like bounced on the cloud. I don't know. I don't hate it. There's clearly a trend. Where am I at? Parallel channel. There's clearly something here. I don't know. Doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad. Another one I forgot on the metals, WPM. This chart, to me, looks phenomenal. I just like it because it's at the top of the range. It's a 4-year inverted head and shoulders. I won't say his name, but you know who I'm talking about. You're telling me this won't play out? This chart looks amazing. Don't look at you. Okay, he is trolling me. There is not Feathercoin Classic. Yeah, so stuff like this looks great. Like, that's why Pepe looks good to me. Again, like what a crazy world it is that Pepe The Pepe looks good. Wild. SQQQ, someone asked about. Yeah, you just gotta be, I mean, you gotta be careful shorting Legacy. It's, so this is short QQQ ETF. I don't hate it as a trade idea. The cloud doesn't hate it either. You just gotta be careful. You know, it's got this like thing where it's trying to bottom. I don't know. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's like Biddy too. Biddy's trying. This is the inverse Bitcoin ETF. Biddy is trying to get into the cloud. Ideally, this fails. You know, ideally this doesn't play out. Same thing with this. Socks. 3x short semis. It's all of these are like trying to reverse, just as it's trying. Legacy itself is trying to break down. What's up, Vainsky? Yeah, that's your pick. That was a Vainsky special. All right, I think that's it. I think. Do we look at maybe Mags? We'll look at Mag 7 in 2 seconds. Okay, is that possible? 7 seconds in Mag 7. NVIDIA, it's not for me just because it's up so much. I'm not saying this can't continue here. It doesn't look awful. I would just assume it doesn't continue here. Maybe you get an inverted head and shoulders. I know people are sick of me saying that, but maybe you get something like that. That's just where we are in the market. Apple still does not look touchable to me. I know earnings are in like 8 minutes or whatever, but look at the trend. There is none. It's bearish. It leans bearish. Microsoft in the daily cloud. You want to wait till that's above. If you get a signal like you did in October, coming up in May, June, July, love it. Here, I do not love it. Amazon has recovered quite well. I don't know why, but it doesn't look horrible. I don't love an entry here. I don't love anything up here. Doesn't look horrible. Meta in the cloud needs more time. Google I still like based on the macro cup and handle thing. I like Google from a technical perspective. Netflix, also no. I don't know. Again, I don't know who's excited to buy 560 on Netflix. I just think it needs time. There's obviously some sort of channel, right? There's something like that going on. So maybe you buy it if you're bullish, like below the channel. Tesla, oh boy. It's funny how it could not close in the daily cloud. Like it's trying to bottom. It had a falling wedge for quite a bit there. It's just trend-wise not bullish. The measurement on this. So the measurement on this, it got in the wheelhouse. So it has that on its side as far as like expected down moves. To me, the fundamentals of this company are just in trouble. You've got everybody quitting. You've got people getting fired and laid off. Trend-wise, it's not bullish. SMCI, all over the place. Also in the cloud. This was a much cleaner breakdown on the head and shoulders. Much more bearish than NVIDIA. Thanks, Vainsky. I agree. I should add to my Google position, honestly. Just kind of waiting. Yeah, that's it. That's all we got. Any last minute things anybody wants to discuss? In the chat. Chatteroony. Thanks for hanging out. As always, give me a like, subscribe. Miners, real quick. Just ranging. WGMI. We talked about the daily Kumo twist bearish last stream, I think. Just, it needs time. Clean sparks in the cloud. No trend there. Marathon, just chopping around. Riot just had earnings. Mega chop. IREN, kind of bottom chop. SDIG, bearish bottom of the range. HUT, bottom of the cloud, or underneath the cloud. There's just no trades here. Wolf is the one miner that I like because it's near the end of the consolidation. It's above the cloud. I don't think this will actually break out, but I have some just in case. It looks to me better than most of these miners. Gree must have had earnings or something. This is clearly a failed inverted head and shoulders. Goku. That's miners. Coin we talked about. Square is being investigated by somebody in the US. It's still in the weekly cloud, so it just needs time. I still have a bunch of it. Hood looks fine to me. Just needs time. PayPal trying to do its best to break up from the falling wedge into the cloud. Needs time, but looks good. Toast, same thing. Needs time, looks good. Top of the range, bull flag. I think that's it for legacy. I think that's it. Miners look like VC tokens with big unlocks. Doesn't look good for miners. What's Pan W? Oh, Palo Alto Networks. It looks okay. I don't think there's an entry here, but it looks okay. I don't know. It's kind of all over the place. Don't love it, but it looks okay. Exactly, DC. I meant to say Goku. All right. That's all I got. Thanks for hanging out. Last one, cost. Legacy. Yeah. Similar to Palo Alto. I don't love it. There's an entry to watch for on the daily. Again, like, look, is it me? Am I the one with pareidolia? You guys tell me what this looks like. Okay. I see one dip, two dips, three dips. You tell me what that looks like. I think it looks like an inverted head and shoulders. So you've got that plus the cloud. Sorry, plus the cloud. I do like this as a breakout play. It's a good chart. I'm going to add it to my list so I remember to talk about it on Sunday. So good heads up on that. I'll just move this somewhere. I don't even know where to put this. Put it with Mag 7. Goku's never coming back. I bullied him too much. But sometimes that's all that there is in the market, you know? Everything's, for the most part, everything is loosely correlated on the risk side. You're going to see the same type of stuff across the board. All right, that's all I got. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good weekend. See you Sunday. Take care.